Tyler, Greg, and Ryan, three friends. Same age, same salary, same goal, to build wealth through the stock market. 30 years later, one of them retires with nearly $1.8 million. Another retires with just over $500,000. And the most shocking part? The hardest working investor finishes last. Now, if I asked you who wins, most people would probably choose Tyler, because Tyler works harder than everyone else. He studies charts. He follows financial news. He watches the market every morning before work. He spends hours searching for opportunities. Surely the guy putting in all that effort should come out ahead, right? Well, not exactly, because when you look at what actually happens over 30 years, the winner is the guy who does almost nothing. And the gap isn't small. It's over $1 million. Let's see how it happened. To keep this fair, all three friends start with exactly the same situation. They're 30 years old. They earn $75,000 a year. They invest $1,000 every month. And they all plan to retire at age 60. Same income, same savings, same starting point. Only one thing is different: the way they invest. Tyler decides he's going to beat the market, not match it, beat it. Every morning, he's staring at charts, watching candlestick patterns, looking for momentum, searching for the next big move. He's buying, selling, buying again. To Tyler, sitting still feels like wasting money. If there's movement in the market, he wants to be part of it. Every single day, Greg takes a different approach. He's not interested in day trading, but he still believes he can outperform the market. He's a swing trader. He buys stocks and holds them for days or weeks. He rides trends, looks for momentum, and then moves on to the next opportunity. He's calmer than Tyler, but he's still trying to predict what happens next. Then there's Ryan. Ryan's strategy is so boring that most people completely ignore it. Every month, Ryan buys a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. That's it. No stock picking, no chart reading, no predictions, no financial news. He buys, closes the app, and gets on with his life. At family gatherings, Tyler has exciting stories. Greg has strong opinions. Ryan has absolutely nothing interesting to say, because "I bought the index fund again" isn't exactly a thrilling conversation. And that's why nobody pays attention to Ryan. At least not yet. Because while Tyler and Greg are busy trying to beat the market, Ryan is quietly doing something much more powerful. He's letting time do the work. And over the next 30 years, time is about to teach a lesson that most investors learn far too late. For the first few years, Tyler looks like a genius. Some weeks he's up 4%, sometimes even more. He shares screenshots, talks about winning trades. And honestly, it looks impressive. Greg is doing fine too. Some trades work, some don't. Nothing dramatic. Ryan? Nothing exciting happens. His account goes up a little, down a little, then up again. Month after month, year after year. Boring, predictable, uneventful. If you looked at all three investors during those early years, you'd probably think Tyler was winning. Most people would, because Tyler's gains are visible. Ryan's gains are invisible. And that's where the trap begins. Tyler is watching the wrong scoreboard. He's comparing this week to last week, this month to last month. But wealth isn't built over weeks. It's built over decades. And the scoreboard that actually matters hasn't revealed itself yet. Then something starts happening, very slowly at first. Every trade Tyler makes comes with a cost. Some costs are obvious. Others are invisible. But all of them matter. Every profitable trade creates a tax bill, money that could have stayed invested. Money that could have compounded for years gets pulled out of the system. Again, and again, and again. Then come the trading costs. Spreads, slippage, tiny fees. Individually, they're almost invisible. But Tyler isn't making 10 trades a year. He's making hundreds. Tiny leaks become massive leaks when repeated thousands of times. And then comes the biggest enemy of all: human psychology, fear, greed, overconfidence. Most traders sell winners too early and hold losers too long. A few successful trades convince them they've figured out the market. And that confidence becomes expensive, very expensive. Now Greg looks at Tyler and thinks, at least I'm not making hundreds of trades. And he's right. Greg avoids some of Tyler's mistakes. He trades less. His costs are lower. His stress is lower. And he spends far less time staring at charts. But there's still a problem. A very important one. Greg is still trying to predict the future. He's still deciding when to buy, when to sell, which trend is real, and which trend is a trap. The market doesn't make that easy. In fact, history shows that most people who try to time the market eventually underperform the people who simply stay invested. Not because they're stupid, but because predicting the future is incredibly difficult, even for professionals. So Greg ends up in an uncomfortable middle ground. He's doing better than Tyler, but he's still making life harder than it needs to be. And while both of them are working harder, Ryan is quietly pulling ahead. Ryan's strategy sounds boring, but boring has advantages. Huge advantages. First, Ryan wins on taxes because he rarely sells anything. His gains stay invested, year after year, decade after decade. While Tyler and Greg keep paying taxes along the way, Ryan lets his money continue compounding untouched. Second, Ryan wins on costs. One low-cost index fund, very few transactions, very little money leaking out of the system. Third, Ryan wins on diversification. Instead of betting on a few companies, he owns hundreds. Some businesses fail, others become giants. And over time, the winners carry the entire portfolio forward. Finally, Ryan wins on simplicity. No panique, no predictions, no emotional decisions, no late-night chart analysis, no FOMO, no stress, just consistency, month after month, year after year. And consistency is far more powerful than most people realize, because wealth is rarely built through brilliance. It's usually built through patience. Now, before I show you the final numbers, take a guess. Who do you think wins? Tyler, the guy working hardest? Greg, the balanced trader? Or Ryan, the guy doing almost nothing? Let's find out. 5 years pass. Tyler's account reaches around $63,000. Greg reaches roughly $68,000. Ryan, around $75,000. Not a huge difference. Most people would still call it a tie, but the seeds have already been planted. Another 5 years pass. Tyler has around $134,000. Greg has about $154,000. Ryan has nearly $192,000. Now the gap is becoming visible. Ryan is quietly moving ahead. By year 15, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Tyler has around $213,000. Greg has roughly $264,000. Ryan, $373,000. And remember, Ryan is still doing almost nothing. No stock picking, no market timing, just patience. Then comes year 20. This is where compounding begins to show its true power. Tyler reaches around $302,000. Ryan reaches approximately $656,000. Think about that. Ryan now has more than double Tyler's wealth. Double. The hardest working investor is getting crushed. Not because he's lazy, not because he's unintelligent, but because effort and results are not always connected in investing. 5 more years pass. Tyler finally crosses $400,000, a respectable number. Most people would be proud of it. But Ryan?